So the way this will work out is fairly simple. My name's Joshua Sis, and I'm going to explain what happened yesterday. Now, a lot of you weren't there for this, or some of you are off, and some of you have questions, but I have every right to do and say what I said to the gentleman that swears you don't have to listen to me. I've had separate situations with every one of y'all. Let me check. Staff included, including management, who rouse people up just to give a fucking joke, but not know what a joke is, or whether it's appropriate or not, or when to trust. Yeah, I mean, across the board, if someone says it's not appropriate, well, I'll give you a case in point that is outside of the example. I'm in acute care with, all right, in the mental health facility, in the mental health industry, as a client, there's this belief that there's this existential karma creation. If I do this, I can get this. It's a basic currency. It's the money standard. But when it comes down to it, now hold on. I'm going to go ahead and play something in the background. I want to take it down to volume 18. We'll start from the beginning, and we're going to do a little conversation between two. This is a learning experience, so that way we can fully understand what timing is and cycling and understanding. Using the movie, you need to judge whether I know the movie or not. I've seen it one time, I just slept through it. This is 2 times, and this is going to be in the background. So this is an educational experience of my life experiences, stuff that I actually lived. And I'm just going to talk. And I know at the 30-minute marker, and it ranges between 29 and 30, click over to another video. So, does the brain actually calculate that? That's a big question. Does, and if it's that matter, are you able to kick over and do placebo effect? So, because they do say, and psychologists, and I want to nail this one home, the mental health industry in particular says the medication will only work as good as you let it. So, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Seriously now. To me, that means, like, if I don't believe it'll work or allow them to do their job, then they won't work. And what does that mean? They don't give you anything. Well, you gotta get sleep. You gotta not drink too much water. You gotta, a list of just bullshit stuff. If it's a psychological event and communication problem, first and foremost, medication is not going to help that. You got to learn how to talk. You got to learn how to do right. I have a good friend that I dealt with that we're no longer friends anymore, and it's going to stay like that for the rest of my life. One, because we technically weren't really friends. We had good times. We basically work associates, and at some juncture, I couldn't handle his business anymore. So that's it. He was doing everyone dirty, not being honest with himself as well as anyone else, and then just taking problems from one conversation and applying it to another, and then taking those problems, 2 different industries, and it's not the problems. But anyways, we're going to talk about me today. So yesterday, I walk in to my house that the government pays for me to stay at, a contract that I signed as SSDI. Alright, some individuals don't have as much, but thanks to the con gentleman at the Missouri governor's office, I believe, Joshua, there's laws in place that these facilities can receive $3,000. I think they do $3,050 right now. But anyways, that's a little magic I don't understand. Because I can use that and live and maintain by myself quite efficiently. Even with, I could pay someone on you know, in-house. So, but, I stopped fighting that fight. I was like, all right, you placed me here, let me figure myself out. I want to go ahead and document and put it online. I want to show you my hands so that way, as I regress and remember the stuff that I was taught, you can now imagine these are your hands, or you're using your psychic power to make the actual creation yourself. That's called imagination. That is called a willingness to play the part. So that's why I did that. Because now you can imagine that you did that. Okay? That's it. That's it. So, we have this med card designed horribly. There is no spaces in between. There's like a subtle gap for a drawer. But anyways, occasionally one of these, they have these books, and it's about yay size. It opens up, and then you can pop out the pills, just like this wax kit. I mean, it's not saying that the wax kit and the scent that makes me feel good is anything near how the medication works either. Okay, because there's no direct correlation between burning wax and then my nasal cavity and then a joyous experience with the family member. Okay. The fact of the matter is this gentleman, I saw the problem. I get these feelings sometimes because I know time. I know I track people in the house. I'm not gonna lie. We all do this. We know that at this certain time, yeah, and you do this with your kids. They just, you can tell they're starting to ramp down type deal. And then it becomes a cycle. You count it down, you're like, well, I know what I can do to help out, or at least tide them over so that way we can get them in bed. But imagine that for adults. Imagine tracking that over 3 years. So, the only, I gotta pause it because there's too much going on. All right. So, this gentleman is helping out one of the staff members because this cart. What happens is the med box, because there's a little divot behind this metal thing. So once the card slides on the door, it hangs over, and this lip from the upper one that allowed it to slide over gets stuck, and you can't get it. And then basically you just gotta ram it and pop it back and hope it kicks over. And sometimes it doesn't. But there was an incident that I had with one of the night staff where my medication did that. And they literally had to crawl up under there and then stick their arm up there. And I'm not joshing you on this one. But she wiggled herself under there, and the men folk, just as myself, eyed her up. Okay, I'm not going to lie. It was an awkward position. All right, so I come in last night, and then, and that actually started a lot of the talk. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I owe her an apology. I really do. But I owe everyone an apology because I tend to talk inappropriately. But I've been staying out of the house. But I also talked to her about a lot of this stuff, about the boys and stuff, and venting. And then when I go to my therapist, it's like, I'm just repeating that conversation. So I'm like, therapist, what the fuck are we doing here? I'm not growing. I'm not doing this. I'm just repeating conversations I've already had. So you guys need to start talking. So, and I'm going to bounce around for a little bit. I just took some caffeine and Broncaid to sharpen my mental. I'm going to start smoking, and I may need to increase the not smoking. Hot. The fan heat needs to blow down coolness, so I may need to turn on the AC. Oh, additionally, let's see Santa. So, before this summer and Christmas, my friend tells me, oh shit, I don't want to break it. this is what she got. I don't know if it's focused. I don't know, but it's a Santa and Santas and whatever. It's a predictive model. She's very good at it. So she also, after one of the other residents where I live, called me root beer, and I was so duh. So because I'm old. But anyways, you'll have to ask people what's going on. I'm just tying in key conversations I've had with individual staff at this point. First, I told Kelly I'd never touch the boys. I had a class with the boys that I never harm them, but I will broach a conversation. So last night, I was very hitting a lot of emotions. And I may have triggered an emotional response in some of these that were viewing them. And then there was other individuals, such as this tall, strapping, redheaded gentleman just came in to watch the fireworks. He thought it was fucking hilarious. I already broached a video conversation with him to back his shit off and back off my people. You know, that this ain't some lazy piece of shit reality TV show for you. All right, get off your fucking ass and do something. And this goes across the board to all you boys. All right, I had to drink Coca-Cola in front of the house, and Kelly chews my ass for drinking alcohol. Then I come over here to get some rest, and I get accused from smoking crystal meth. You know, you can eat a fucking choke. You know, if you don't know me, you don't know my talk, and you think I know nothing. Just fuck off. All right. I wrote in the post this morning my intentions, my goals, what I want out of life. All right, you have no right to tell me yes or no on how I get that. All right. If you're not getting it and you're jealous and you tell me no, just try to step me up, fuck off. I'm gonna come after you. All right, I told my mental case manager, I'm like, here's the deal. I need some Xanax so I can ignore this motherfuckers, because you are ignoring me. All right, if I'm going to have to ignore these people and feel good about it, I better have a good fucking party about it, and then I can give some alternate story. But here's the deal. The gentleman last night said he was helping this female. There was another gentleman that is locked on site. All right, now shit. House manager doesn't know. I was trying to kill it there, but I had a talk with this gentleman, this one that kind of rouses everyone up and, you know, asking for smokes, you know, likes to get in people's business, just watches staff. It's kind of slow. It's all right. He's a good buddy. He's a slow roll, actually. His timing is impeccable. He touched me prior to that same day. Well, no, it was the night before. And the gentleman I yelled at last night and the gentleman that touched me shared an event a few months prior that required me to call 911. Because I don't like to be touched. I don't like to do this. Respect my boundaries. When I ask a request, do it. This is across the board. The staff that's being paid to help us just does nothing. I mean, it goes all the way up. I have documented it. I had this issue with another two clienteles. They just seem to shift it to another house. I mean, I had no problem with these individuals, but they weren't getting the right information from their providers. All right, case in point. And it's like, you want me to take these pills? Fine, I'm taking these pills. But why? Well, you're talking weird. I don't understand what you're saying. Well, you know, you ain't calling me out on my shit. You're just providing another Band-Aid solution that gives you, I don't know, some sort of out to slow my brain down, to drug me up enough so I stop talking. So that way I just eat food through a straw and lay there and drool and watch TV and this thing. So, all right, here's the thing. The gentleman that touched me the night before, I yelled the night after. That gentleman told me, guy one, guy two. All right, this guy did me wrong the night before. All right, he touched me. This next guy was doing wrong. He was eyeing up the staff. He's like, I'm not going to leave because she asked me to help. Okay? And I'm like, how are you helping? All right? I told her exactly what she needed to do because I had the problem dealt with before. You stick the hand up the cart, you get the item, you pull it out. I then illustrated to everyone. I'm like, we can't do that. Because gentleman one's like, I can stick my hand up there. I'm like, no, that's a fireable offense. State says anyone in the med cart, they immediately lose their license or whatever accreditation. I'm like, we can't do anything. This is something she's going to have to figure out. Okay? Gentleman number two is like, well, I'm helping her. I ain't moving. I'm like, she's going to be in some delicate positions. You don't need to be eyeing her up. So unless if you can provide a definable help thing that you're doing other than gawking like a YouTube viewer, or some assistance in that way for later on, but you gay, so that doesn't count, right? And no offense to the homosexual community, but this gentleman clearly does not, he's so pent up with anger and rage because he ain't being listened to by his medical providers. And case in point, if they ain't listening to me, they ain't listening to him. They ain't listening to any of my boys. Get your shit right. All right? You need to work as a unit. It's not like I get my paycheck, I'm in my own division, I'm not going to talk to you, I'm not going to talk to you. We have a team for a reason. So it's in addition to the $3,000. Case manager, therapy, all that stuff. So fucking talk to each other. And if you're not going to talk to each other, document what the fuck I tell you to document. All right, I told, and I'm going to break set on that. So you got to remember, I won't be jumping around here because I'm dealing with everyone, including staff, fucked up mistakes. It ain't just clients. All right, let's go ahead and discuss with the owners. All right, now I don't know about the two females. There's a camera girl, which winkled her nose and fixed her stove. So I don't know about her, but apparently everyone's terrified of her because her magic's so powerful. Literally, our stovetop before Christmas did not work. Same girl that worked last night. She's like, I don't know what to do. I even checked, I'm like, this shit ain't working. But anyway, she walks in, wiggles her nose, and she goes, and it popped on. I'm like, no, I ain't doing this. I'm walking away. Fuck this noise. Anyways, and then the one that allowed me to stay, I had $500 to my name. The agreement was $1,500 and I'd be in the house. But BJC managed to handle me in such a way to maintain that I stayed in the car throughout Christmas without a heating coil and whatever. I had the money. I was told that I was going to get it on the 1st. Then it ended up being on the 21st. Then it to the next year, and I'm just like, whatever. Additionally, I had my case manager at BJC had quit, apparently. All right, and the one prior got a promotion. And then this most recent one explained to me that she was on her 20-year, whatever, the day she was helping me. And I'm supposed to kiss her ass. I'm like, I came here to move into a house. I've jumped through anyways. A lot of stuff going there. Additionally, for suicide, I overdosed on caffeine pills. Well, it's kind of a two-part system. It's more of an apology to a prior because I had this issue as when I was younger that someone got into my med stuff. My med, I was like 8 at the time. I went over to the babysitters, and I knew to take my medication from point A to point B. I didn't realize that I had to tell the babysitter that I had it. Well, anyways, their daughter liked me, and they went through the stuff and took a whole thing of Wellbutrin and had to take the charcoal in the mouth and have her stomach pumped. All right. Now that was just like a mom had been pulled to her last thread and was just trying to make it day to day and asking a lot of the kids, and the kids not knowing exactly how important it is to watch your things. So, and then that recurred again back in my 20s when I was couch surfing at this one place. Anyways, bunch of caffeine pills got taken. Now, my heart broke on that one. And during when I went down to Southeast Missouri Behavioral Health, after I've been told all I have to do instead of going through, because I can't handle the ER questionnaire stent. It brings up too much stuff, and it diverts what I required going in. But the head person at the place said, all you got to do is come to the front door. We have an intake. You just fill out the paperwork and we'll get you in. I come in just like I'm talking to you now, and I'm just saying, I know my brain thoughts are not appropriate. I live in my car. I explained the situation. They knew who I was. They're like, you want a sandwich? They didn't give me a sandwich. They gave me a little lunch bowl. Fine, whatever. I'm like, no, I actually just want something to drink. I'm needing, having just erratic thoughts and self-harm. They weren't to the point of whatever, but I know I can sway self-harm to output fast driving and just a whole bunch of different things. That's not classified as suicide, but if it's an accident, then yeah, I mean, it's clearly my fault. But I took the choice. I made the choices. But I did not make that choice to go out to my car. I went out to my car after that because they said the doctor specifically said your suicidal ideations are not strong enough. We don't believe you is what they said. And then I specifically said, so you want me to go out to my car and do a bunch of pills? And then you can try again. They're like, you could try, but I'd suggest going to the ER after that. So I go out to my car. I got 2 bottles out there. I got this huge economy bottle of, it was ibuprofen. God, that's why I've been fucking taking this. And then a huge thing of caffeine. Well, it wasn't a huge thing. I got the thing right here. Well, no, I don't. Yeah, it's right here. So it's a 90 caps. I had taken 5 before. They're at 200 milligrams. It's the extra strong one. Downed them. All right. In the Southeast Hospital ER. Now, mind you, the girl that stuck her arm up there actually used to work there approximately during the time I was there. It's kind of hilarious. You know, one of those small world things. So, anyways, I downed the thing in the car lot. I made sure to park in a place. So I'm parked here. I walked over here. The camera's facing here. The doors is like right over here, and then the hospital's right over here. So I do this. I just drink it. I chew some down because I didn't have anything to swallow it. That's why I swallow my pills dry, because it's like a fuck you. If you're going to kill me slowly, do it. Do it right. Make me feel right. Make me have fun during this time. That's why I asked for Xanax. You know, I'm going to say some shit. I may do some dumb stuff, but, you know, that ain't my fault. All right? That's the way I'm going to die. Have a good time. Fuck off. So, take the pills. I walk in. I'm like, here's the deal. And I carry the empty bottle. And I'm like, I just took these. Now, first, they're just like, are you sure you took these? Is this how you want to do it? I'm like, what does that even fucking mean? And then I explained the situation. They said my suicidal ideations weren't strong enough. They told me to go commit suicide, and then they'd try again later. All right, so now I'm here. Now, mind you, that night was the night that I met this handicapped woman at BJC, my new case manager. The night I was supposed to go into this RCF I'm currently at. So I get there. Well, after they cleaned out, they washed out my system, and they're like, you're just going to have to ride it out. There's nothing you can do. Figured out some clock stuff, talking to Lindsay Blagg, who of course said, and there's the point, I completely jumped ship on that. So let me go ahead and put this, I don't think this is going to play that loud, but I'm going to turn it down to 15. Would you mind stepping inside his body? It was at 15. We're at 1 to 1 now. So, we're at Poplar Bluff. Lindsay's got my blanket at this point. She says it smells like me. we're talking about the drink company. She's going to be my PR agent. I'm like, all right, get your shit together. We got this. Anyways, there's this other gentleman that's clearly trying to sell drugs to the other clientele. He's just contact me. Here's my number. This stuff. He's like, you gotta watch this, and he's doing this existential stuff. This is mindfuck stuff. It's like I know that what the back meaning to it is, and it was inappropriate. It was straight inappropriate. There's one in particular. There's a Batman one where he's in a cage. I'm not sure if it's an animated or whatever, but it doesn't matter what is played on that TV. If it's promoting abuse, trauma, rape, telling you to do things without even questioning, inappropriate. This guy started yelling at me. I'm like, fuck you. He keeps, it was DVDs that we had. He kept putting DVDs. So the staff knows that these are inappropriate, and they're using it as a cue set to make sure that you could just tell there's a birds of a feather flock together. So we know that is, and then they have it. They're seeing what type of group actually came in. So, but they fall on the fact there is like they all adults. You know, it's not inappropriate. They get to choose, and then that falls back on the acute care thing. If you're truly are mentally insane and having psychosis events, and we cannot help you until you sign this contract that we can help you. That is a logical fucking contract there. So either we are in control or we're not. If we're not, then I shouldn't have to sign shit. You shouldn't have to get a judge. You should do it on my word and my actions. But no, I got to get that contract so that we don't get sued. But whatever. And then this whole rest of the thing is just like a fluff little act. Anyways, fuck off. And there ain't anything wrong. That's just how the system is, right? I'm just doing my job. I have to get this paperwork. I gotta ask these questions. This may bring up some stuff in you. Are you suicidal or homicidal? Could you please explain? Can you give me some experience as to why I should believe you? So, this was, and I'm going to do, so I got the staff on the one, they took the DVD off. He says, this ain't fair. They did the existential stuff. Some people actually, like if you do drug-induced experiences, you start hearing some different conversations that you're not supposed to hear. I call it jailhouse talk. It's like you don't listen to the voices. All right, if you don't see their lips move, then you don't know it was them. It could have been from the phone, it could have been whatever. Be prepared. AI is real. All right, so, jump into another acute care stay. So, the gentleman I yelled at last night, I called out for being inappropriate. He was eye-gawking. I'm like, this ain't the first time, boy. All right, you're inappropriate with women, and you're mean to the guys. You say rancid comments, and you think they're jokes. That ain't a joke. If both of you ain't laughing, it ain't funny. If the rest of the room is laughing, then it's a power play. And you showed me you do power plays because you wouldn't fucking move. You said my opinion doesn't matter. Now what he was saying is he's talking to the doc right there. It's like, you're not understanding what I'm saying. So I don't have to listen to you because I've got a degree. The higher person told me, whatever. I'm not doing this ethical thing. I keep getting flipped up. I know it was wrong. That's what I said. You need to leave. All right. I know from experience. I have more experiences that I could tack onto there, and that's what we're going to do today. So the tie-in right here. So this gentleman that touched me has a girlfriend or wife or something. May have kids. I don't know. Definitely has kids. I don't know. But here's the deal. He was dating someone that he loved very much, and he was very country, just love, that's my woman, don't fuck with him. This guy comes straight up to him, says, oh, I know that girl. Yeah, she likes to sleep around. I fucked her, she's a whore, okay? This gentleman then comes up with all this mixed energy and then starts tapping my titty, okay? Now what I found out 30 minutes prior that his girlfriend has a nipple tattoo. This guy has inappropriate thoughts that bleed over into his conversations with the men. It goes gay real quick. This gentleman came out to be gay just a few days after. All right, he says, "No, I'm gay." That's to justify his shit comments, because I like to fuck people in the ass. Anyways, I lost it because I saw the connections. But the problem is the staff wasn't listening. They weren't doing anything with my problem with another one. I'm like, here's the deal, this coughing, this neurological whatever. You're sitting at a corporate meeting, because, I've had extracurricular activities with, I've reduced the number to 7, but out of the 13 female managers, 7 of them I know extra well. So I know the behavior. I know when something's inappropriate. I can smell it. I don't shit on other people's plate and do whatever. Not my problem. All right. Whether it happened in the past or not, there's still additional stuff there. So that ain't on me. But if you ain't going to deal with your shit, that's going to bleed over. Now, mind you, Lynn's